For almost 40 years, this bone sat almost forgotten inside a museum drawer. Now it's revealing the secret of a lost continent. It had been collected from Antarctica and classified only as the remains of a large reptile. But when scientists examined it again, its true identity began to emerge. It belonged to a titanosaur, a long-necked dinosaur that once walked across a continent now buried beneath ice. Because the frozen landscape we see today is only the latest chapter of Antarctica's history. So how could the coldest continent on Earth once produce enough life to feed a giant? Today, Antarctica appears almost incapable of supporting large land animals. But millions of years ago, the southernmost continent looked very different. A continent of wind, exposed rock, and ice stretching beyond the horizon. Only the ghosts of a warmer time remain. But during the age of dinosaurs, the same land held rivers, forests, and a complete living ecosystem. To understand how giants survived here, we must reconstruct the continent's position, climate, and forests. The geological team had crossed the exposed rocks of James Ross Island, mapping ancient layers. Inside one sedimentary bed, they noticed a fragment of mineralized bone within the dark rock. It was removed carefully, wrapped, and carried away with dozens of other Antarctic specimens. Field notes recorded it as a reptile fragment. There was no reason to call it a dinosaur. The specimen entered a scientific collection where it remained untouched for several decades. Years later, researchers examined the bone again, noticing features the original label could not explain. Its shape did not fit marine reptiles. It matched the tail of a sauropod dinosaur.
The caudals show clear evidence of gigantic.
Modern scanning allowed scientists to examine structures hidden deep beneath the fossil's mineralized surface. The result pointed to a titanosaur, an animal 7 meters long and possibly not fully grown. The bone suggested that Antarctica was connected to a much larger southern world during Gondwana's era. The simplest explanation would be that Antarctica once stood near the equator. But it did not. Antarctica remained at a high southern latitude. Its green landscapes thrived right near the pole. Antarctica was not yet isolated. It formed a vital part of the southern supercontinent, Gondwana, connecting ancient Australia to Antarctica. To the west, land and coastal plains connected it with South America. To the east, broad regions still joined Antarctica to Australia. These connections created ecological corridors for animals to spread across the southern world. Titanosaurs were already widespread in South America, where many of their closest relatives are known. Long-necked dinosaurs also lived in ancient Australia, once joined to Antarctica's eastern margin. Over millions of years, those land connections broke apart. Oceans opened where land once existed. Antarctica became increasingly isolated, but geography alone did not freeze the continent. The larger mystery remained. How could forests and giant animals survive near the South Pole? The answer was not preserved in one dinosaur bone. It was buried deeper beneath Antarctica. The cores reveal layers formed long before the modern ice sheet. Note the dark, organic-rich sediment here. Inside them, researchers found fossilized roots still fixed within ancient soil. Microscopic pollen revealed conifers, ferns, and flowering plants that once grew at high southern latitude. Together, the evidence confirmed that Antarctica had supported real forests. The continent was not tropical, but far warmer than the frozen world we know today. Atmospheric carbon dioxide was much higher, strengthening the planet's greenhouse effect. Warmer oceans carried heat toward the southern polar regions. And without a permanent ice sheet, vast areas of land remained exposed. During summer, long hours of daylight allowed forests to grow rapidly. But warmth did not remove the greatest challenge. The seasons changed, and light faded. The climate supported rivers and forests. But what happened when that productive season ended? A forest is more than trees. Its survival begins in wet soil, decaying leaves and stored organic matter. Roots captured water and nutrients, while decomposition returned energy to the ground. Above them, conifers and seasonal trees formed an open polar canopy. Rivers connected the forest, carrying sediment, moisture, and life across the floodplain. Insects and small organisms broke down dead material and supported the food web. Tiny animals moved through the undergrowth, feeding, hiding, and carrying energy upward. Then came the giants. Their arrival changed the forest physically with every step. A long neck allowed a titanosaur to feed across several layers of vegetation. This was not an empty landscape. It was a complete and functioning polar ecosystem. Productivity depended on seasonal growth, and a giant could not survive on scenery alone. A large body offered protection, reach, and stability, but it also demanded an enormous and continuous supply of vegetation. The long neck reduced the need to move the entire body. From one position, the animal could feed across several forest layers. Its small head was not designed for careful chewing. Vegetation could be stripped, swallowed, and processed later. A large digestive system allowed tough plants to ferment slowly while the animal continued its constant search for food. River corridors offered water, soft new growth, and a natural route between productive feeding areas across the landscape. A giant could not remain where vegetation was exhausted. It had to keep moving to sustain its massive metabolism. During the long summer, continuous daylight created a brief explosion of plant growth, supporting these enormous herbivores. Some dinosaurs followed that productivity across the continent, though evidence for long-distance migration remains limited. Others may have stayed in sheltered valleys, relying on evergreen plants and stored body reserves through winter. For younger animals, the problem was greater. Smaller bodies had fewer reserves as the softest plants vanished. Then the season ended. Vegetation declined, temperatures fell, and the sun began to vanish for the year. Antarctica's darkness was created by geography that has never changed, the tilt of Earth itself. The sun did not disappear in a single moment. Each day, it traveled lower across the horizon. As direct light weakened, photosynthesis slowed. New plant growth began to stop. Seasonal trees shed their leaves, while evergreen conifers retained a smaller supply of vegetation. For large herbivores, the landscape became harder to exploit. Soft growth was replaced by tougher food. Animals reduced their activity, conserved energy, and relied partly on reserves accumulated during summer. Others may have moved toward regions where light and vegetation remained available for longer. Some dinosaurs stayed within sheltered valleys and continued feeding through the dark season. Predators faced the same calculation. As prey became scarce, every movement cost energy. The forest did not vanish. Rivers flowed. Life continued beneath a sky without direct sunlight. But eventually, the last glow fell below the horizon. The sun disappeared. After the Age of Giants, a cool, temperate paradise flourished in the heart of ancient Antarctica. Small mammals and primitive birds thrived in humid forests of southern beech and ancient conifers. But the Earth was shifting. As continents drifted apart, the warm currents of the past began to fail. The opening of the Drake Passage birthed a cold current that isolated Antarctica in a frozen cage. On the highest peaks, the first permanent snows took hold, never to melt again in the summer sun. The lush green vanished. The once vibrant life retreated as the forest surrendered to the creeping cold. Rivers of liquid water became rivers of ice. Massive glaciers began their slow march across the valley. The weight of the growing ice sheet crushed the ancient woods, sealing the continent's secrets beneath it. By 34 million years ago, the transformation was complete. Antarctica had become the white wasteland we know. Hidden beneath miles of ice, the ghost of a lost world remains, frozen in a geological tomb. Modern Antarctica appears almost empty, but the ice conceals an entire landscape beneath the surface. Radar can penetrate the ice and record reflections from hidden layers and bedrock. Those signals reveal valleys where no valley can be seen from above. Airborne surveys connect thousands of measurements into maps of the buried continent. Some of those maps preserve the shapes of ancient drainage systems and sediment basins. Where mountains rise above the ice, exposed rock offers a rare entrance into the past. Leaves, roots, and pollen confirm that forests once occupied these polar landscapes. Dinosaur fossils are far rarer, often incomplete, weathered, and isolated.
This fragment.
Scientists reconstruct the lost ecosystem from fragments, not from one perfect discovery. And most of Antarctica remains buried beneath ice too deep to excavate directly. Today, Antarctica appears silent. But silence does not mean emptiness. Beneath kilometers of ice lies the landscape that preserved the evidence we followed. A forest, a river, and giants that once walked beneath a polar sky. No single fossil tells this story. Only when connected does the hidden world appear. Much of Antarctica has never been explored. Many questions remain unanswered. Perhaps the next discovery is waiting below. The ice guards Earth's greatest lost worlds.